All right, it was good to see Boog in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Every time they show up on Monday Night Football, Breeze breaks a record. This time he set a new record, breaks a record. It was a good night for New Orleans as they clubbed Indianapolis 34-7. Breeze was 29 of 30 on the night. He was named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week, 29 of 30 for over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. Michael Thomas had 12 catches for over 100 yards and another score. He's on pace to shatter the receptions record set by Marvin Harrison back in 2002. Boog was played alongside Harrison and Peyton Manning on those Indianapolis teams, won a Super Bowl with the Indianapolis Colts. He was back in his home state with Monday Night Football, calling a game. That had to be a pretty cool experience, huh, Boog?
Yeah, without a doubt, man. You know, anytime you get a chance to come in that dome, man, when the Saints are playing well, you know it's going to be rocking, and just the atmosphere, because everybody was kind of in anticipation of, you know, not if, but when Drew was going to break the record. And then for it to be broken, them to call offensive pass interference right before halftime. And then, you know, that was really good for us on TV because now people got to stick around, come back in the second half to see if he's going to break it. So all in all, it was a really good night, man. And the Saints, you know, more important for me than the offense was the defense. Yeah. You know, because they'd given up 48 the week before. For them to come back, play well. You know, I thought early in the game, maybe the first couple plays, they went after Eli Apple just to see if he was awake for the night, and looked like he was up for the challenge. But all in all, it was a good day for the Saints, and I think it was a victory that was not only needed but expected.
What did it tell you about their roster after losing Rankins and Davenport last week to have the performance that they did?
Well, I don't know if I'd really, you know, look at the roster or make this big, you know, overwhelming generalization, because I think they outmanned the Colts. I think, you know, you're going to see how deep the roster is with, you know, whether it's Mario Edwards Jr., whether it's Trey Hendrickson, when you go against a better team. The Saints were just better than the Colts. And so you can't make any overarching statement about the roster based on that game. What I will say is the defense stepped up in a situation where they were embarrassed the week before. Now, we'll see what those, you know, complementary players can do against better competition down the stretch.
Look, the Saints went out and added this week Norris Jenkins off of waivers. What does he bring to the table? Is he going to upgrade this defense in a significant way?
Well, I think he upgrades the secondary, and it's basically a message to Eli Apple and or P.J. Williams that if you don't get your stuff together, we got somebody that's going to replace you. And I think they're going to play him. I think they're going to work him in. And he's a good cover guy. He's a playmaker. He may give up a deep pass here and there, but you talk about a guy that can compete, whether it's in the slot, whether it's outside. I personally think he's an upgrade over Apple. It just depends on when they decide to put him in there, but he is definitely somebody that can help their defense.
This NFC's a hell of a race, man. You got a good one on Monday night coming up with the Packers in Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Green Bay's got 11 wins on the season. Saints have 11 wins on the season. San Francisco got beat by Atlanta on Sunday with a cross-country trip to San Francisco. How do you like this NFC race?
I love it. I think it's heavy at the top. I think when you look at New Orleans, San Francisco, Seattle, and then Green Bay is like, hey, don't forget about us. And so I just think that overall the depth at the top is pretty good. And I think when it's all said and done, you're going to have a playoff scenario where you could get a team that's 13-3, like the 49ers, traveling to Dallas on divisional weekend. That could be one of the best games we've seen.
Yeah. So at the top of this NFC, what separates these teams? Because I mean, you look at Breeze and Russell Wilson and those guys and Aaron Rodgers, and then you look at San Francisco and they're doing it a different way. What's separating these teams?
Well, I just think ultimately when it's all said and done, the defense is going to win the day. You know, I understand we're going to be enamored by Kyle Shanahan and Sean Payton and Drew Brees and all this, on and on and on. But I honestly think that the team that can make the biggest stops defensively is going to wind up winning the NFC. On the other side, it could be different because I think, you know, New England's defense is really good, but I think they're going to need some more offense, and I think they've been struggling. But on this NFC side, you look at the defenses, when you start talking about New Orleans, Seattle, San Francisco, Green Bay, whichever defense can kind of go on a run, I think their team is going to be in pretty good shape. Because if you look at the quarterbacks, I think the quarterbacks are all Super Bowl-worthy quarterbacks. Obviously, Russell Wilson has won one. Drew Brees has won one. Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't won one, but he's playing probably with the best defense. And then Aaron Rodgers has won one. So 3 out of the 4 best teams have Super Bowl-winning quarterbacks, and the one that doesn't may have the best defense. So I just think it sets up really, really well.
Who do you like in the AFC?
Is it popular to go against Baltimore? I know T-Bob is not there today, so he's not going to give me grief. But
is Kansas City coming on, though?
Baltimore. Yeah, Kansas City's coming on, but I just think Baltimore's got something special going, man. And I wasn't a believer, but after you go back and you look at what they're doing, how can you not be a believer in what's going on? Kansas City's going to have something to say about it, but do we really trust Kansas City's defense? I know Honey Badger's playing really well, but it's the same defense that we've been talking about for the last 2 years. I don't trust them.
LSU's got their first Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, Boog. It happened on Saturday night. You were on SVP. Here's what it sounded like for our listeners who didn't catch it.
Good times roll, Scotty. Come on, baby.
Somehow, I tried to ask the man about food, and he still got it to LSU. I'll talk to you
Absolutely,
next.
Scotty.
I'll talk to you.
Heisman Trophy, baby. Joe Burrow. Come on. Are you kidding me? Look at it, Scotty. Heisman. Come on. You know how we do it.
You want to talk about Delpit and Coach O and Chase and all the rest of the guys?
Hey, listen. We need to rename the award show to the LSU Festival.
Boog, Clyde Edwards-Helaire may have strained his hamstring yesterday. Did you pull yours when you struck the pose on national television?
Yeah, it was a close. I've been getting treatment ever since. Hopefully, with a little ice and a little stretching, it'll be okay. I heard about CEH's hamstring strain or whatever. Yeah. Here's the thing I'll say: Jack Marucci's the best in the country.
Yes, he is.
So whatever needs to be done will be done. If he can play, he'll play. If not, Jack's not going to put him out there. It's just, to me, it's an opportunity for the guys behind. And if CEH can't play, I know everyone is going to say Davis, but here's what I'll say. There's a reason John Emery was a 5-star tailback. And if Clyde Edwards-Helaire can't play, I think, Davis will get his carries, but look for Emery to probably have a bigger role. Now he's a year into the system, knows the plays. He's been in the weight room. I honestly think that these playoffs could be a coming out party for him going into next season.
Yeah, he could have a Jamar Chase effect where Jamar didn't have a huge impact in the early part of last season and then came on strong late. Booger, we played the clip there, and every week we look for it. I'm in a text message thread with all the folks at LSU for the social media stuff, and every week when you and Ryan are on SVP, we get the text message, hey, go clip it and let's post it on social media. You're having so much fun with it. You guys are having so much fun with it. And I've been trying to tell fans all year, enjoy this, appreciate it, because it's such a rare season. Have you been able to really kind of sit back? I know you're busy and working your tail off, but just sit back and appreciate how magical this season's been from start to finish.
Well, yeah, I've been able to appreciate it because this is what I've expected, man. If you talk about states in the country that should be that the main school in their state should be good. Okay, if you look at Louisiana and you start talking about Power 5 schools in the state, all right, there's only one unless I'm missing one.
Nope.
All right, the only one, and with the talent in this state, this is what LSU should be. And if you look at the versatility of the recruiting class yesterday, they got guys from all across the country, California and Ricks, and you get Johnson out of in Georgia, and you go to Virginia. Yeah, I know we missed out on a couple of receivers, but are we really concerned with Chase coming back and some of the guys that we got coming with Trey Palmer? So I think overall the health of the program is really good, and you got to give a really big shout out to Coach O and his right-hand man, Derek Finansky, and the entire coaching staff. Now, with that being said, they have a really neat opportunity right now to go against an Oklahoma team that most people think they should beat, to set up an opportunity to come to New Orleans to play for a national title and to avenge what happened last time we were there, which we lost 21-0 to Alabama. So it's a good time. appreciate it, but I'm not satisfied, man, because this is what it should be. So you can appreciate it, but don't be satisfied. Appreciate it, but don't be to the point where we're like, all right, this is good, this is enough. No, it's not enough. It's not enough until you hoist the trophy, and I will definitely stay on that, which is why, when we were struggling through the end of the Les Miles era, I was very outspoken because I know what the program should look like. I know what it should look like relative to the rest of the country. And I think the rest of the country understands what it should look like. So, magical, sure. Expected, yes. Satisfied, not even close.
Booger McFarland from Monday Night Football every Wednesday right here, presented by Central Plumbing Company. Merry early Christmas to you and your family. Thank you for the time this morning. You got a great one on Monday night in Minnesota with Green Bay in town.
By the way, where is T-Bob? Can I get?
He is. He's at the in-law. He's at the in-laws for the weekend. I think they're doing Christmas with the in-laws in Georgia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do the in-laws like him?
He says him and his father-in-law, all they do is drink scotch the whole time. Like they just.
So he gets the man. So he gets the man drunk, so he can not pay attention to how bad he is.
That's probably right. That's probably right. Have a good weekend, man. See you, man.